Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. Today I'm going to make a tasty batch of stuffed meatballs. This is a lovely recipe and one you could explore with different types of food to put inside of these delicious meatballs. Now I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways you can serve it. But right now we're going to have about a pound of lean ground beef and let's get started. So what I'm using here is some little spuds, little potatoes. I got them washed and soaking. I'm going to leave the skin on. And I got about a half a bag there. We'll talk about that as we go. I got some yellow pearl onions and we got them here. So what we're going to be stuffing the meatballs with today is some pearl onions and some baby spuds. We're going to be using inside of our mixture some breadcrumbs, finely grated, onion, egg, salt, pepper and onion powder, my favorite seasonings. And then we'll talk about the vegetables we'll serve with it. So let's get started on putting those meatballs together. So first we're going to prepare the meatballs and I guess getting the meat ready. We're going to be using some onion powder, but half a teaspoonful of each one, sea salt and pepper. I got some finely grated breadcrumbs and I usually, when it goes stale, just grate it with your grater or just by hand. And that's about a half a cup or a quarter of a cup, whichever you got available. I'm going to be breaking here an egg. I got off to the side. I'm just going to, as it says, shells on shells, take the shell out of this egg. So I'll just take that out. I'm just going to toss that over in the sink and lightly mix it and then pour it in. So this is a large egg. I'm going to also put in there 1 clove of garlic. You can either press it or grate it, or you could use the garlic that's already grated for you, or garlic powder. So that's just 1 clove and we're going to mix this together. So now you can mix this together by hand, which I'm going to end up doing anyway, or you can use a spatula and just gradually put it in there. We don't want to overmix the ground beef because we don't want it to make it tough. We just want it all incorporated in there. Now I'm going to show you what's next. So what you're going to need as well, about a half a cup of stale breadcrumbs or Italian breadcrumbs. You could use shake and bake, whatever you got available. I don't want you to have to go out and buy something, and season it up with whatever seasonings you enjoy. About a half a teaspoonful of Parmesan cheese, mix that in with it, and this is going to be for rolling the meatballs in after we put them together. So we'll take up just a small scoop of the meat mixture, and at first I'm going to use one of those potatoes. I'm going to put the potato in the middle and fold it over it like this. Okay, I'll show you that one more time. I'm going to get just a potato, a scoop of that meat. You need a little bit more. If you want them bigger, you want them smaller, that's fine. And once you formed it like this, like a meatball, put it into that seasoned breadcrumbs or whatever you got that you want to roll it in. Those Italian breadcrumbs are nice too because they're spiced up. And then put it over onto your baking sheet with a piece of parchment paper. So I'm just gonna do a few more here. Now I'm using about a pound of lean ground beef here, but you can use as much as you want because you can make as many of these as you want. Cook them, freeze them, and take them out when you want them. It's not a problem. So we're going to put one of those onions in there, those yellow pearl onions, tuck it away into the meat like this, and roll it as well in those crumbs. And that's all we're going to do there. So this is the last one. So what I did was equally put onion in one, potato in the other. And if you don't like onions and you don't want to do onions, do all of those little potatoes. And I think even might work in here is those little cherry tomatoes. Might be nice in there if you want it that way. So this is 12 nice size meatballs there now. And let me talk about what we'll do next. Now that I'm washed up, what we're going to do, we're going to preheat our oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to put this in the oven anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to say depending on your oven. But before we do that, I'm going to show you a few vegetables that we're going to bake the same time as this. We will be serving with this meal, and I'll show you that. Got these lovely bunch of asparagus. Now some days I get asparagus and they're just really nice and huge, but these are tiny, but just perfect for roasting. I'm going to take the tips off about 1 inch just to the side, and I think I'm going to cut them one more time like this. And I got about a dozen or so there. I'm going to put them in the bowl with the potatoes, those little spuds. I got some orange peppers cut up there, but you can cut up any color, and the rest of those pearl onions. After you've done that, I got a clove of garlic here. It's huge. I might even fit it into my press. You can go 1 or 2 cloves here, and I'll put it over the vegetables. I got a combination here of salt, pepper, and onion powder. That's my favorite seasonings for using on our cooking show, if you noticed. And you can put about 1/2 teaspoonful of each. Let's go about 2 tablespoonfuls of olive oil, extra virgin or regular, and then just coat it all together equally. So after you've done that, equally got all of that delicious seasonings and the olive oil mixed in with it. We're going to put it on the same cooking tray as the meatballs, and mainly because the meatballs is lean ground beef, so it shouldn't be giving off any oil. If it do, it'll only be a little amount, and it'll only flavor up those vegetables. So I'm just going to toss them down here. Now, if you want to, you could use vegetables that you enjoy eating. You don't necessarily got to be using the ones that I got here today. I just think that this would be a really nice combination together. And if you're cooking it out on the barbecue, because you can cook this in your cast iron pan, or leave out this this parchment paper and just putting on the cooking sheet, put it out onto your barbecue. That'll be perfectly fine. Cook it in the oven, barbecue, or in your air fryer. So now that's all we need to do there. So let's put this in the oven. Our tasty stuffed meatballs are done. I'm going to cut into one. I'm going to display 3 meals you could make with these, and I'm sure you can make more. In Raymond's case, he can just sit down with the fork and have one after another, and that's called a meal. And I'm going to show you that.
There's no problem for me on this side, for sure. Oh no, not at all.
Over here I got just a homemade hot dog, and I cut the top off it, and I used the bread for Evan to serve on this side of the plate. So this is for a sub, and I'm going to display all of these. I'm going to cut this one in half here for you to see it. Just look at that delicious little potato. Now just look at this. And I know the onion is probably just as tasty, but I don't know which one is onion, which one is not. But we'll cut into a couple of more. But right now, I'm going to pack.
That's the fun part, isn't it?
That is the fun part.
You're going to figure out which one is inside, potato or the onion.
We'll figure that out. I'm going to, over here, display for you the sub. Now, I mean, this is no ordinary sub. I mean, you look at it. This is one that is probably a feast. I'm just going to serve it here with a topping of some just pasta sauce, any type of sauce that you enjoy eating. So hopefully it don't drip down onto the table, but that's that one. Now over here, I'm going to be putting 3 of those delicious stuffed meatballs on some fresh spinach and scoop up some of those roasted vegetables that we got there. And then we're going to top those with just a gravy, one of those quick gravies or some leftover gravy. I'm not going to put it over the vegetables yet, but I'm sure that's Raymond's plate and he'll be putting it over the vegetables.
No good.
Now we're going to go to this side, show you this one. We're going to have some pasta with, again, 3 of those tasty meatballs, stuffed meatballs, and of course I got to have a little small amount of the vegetables there and the peppers to go with it, and topped with some of that pasta sauce. Now, I mean, I could brush this in there and have it all the way through the pasta, and I'll do that after, but this is just mainly showing you that you can make 3 tasty meals from this delicious stuffed meatballs. Yum! Now I hope that you're interested in getting to the kitchen right now and making those stuffed meatballs. I mean, how simple and easy is that, and such an affordable meal. I mean, maybe your kids don't like to have roasted vegetables and they just want that sub, or you want it again, packing a lunch, taking it to work. You can do that with that sandwich and sit down and have an elegant meal at the end of the day with a pasta meal or those roasted vegetables. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a little taste of this now. I think I'm gonna have a little taste of that gravy over this one, Raymond. I'll pass you one for sure. Yeah. Now this is the potato with a little bit of a gravy. Oh my goodness. Raymond?
That's the gravy one. All right.
I'll give you this one.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I'd like to pass it to you guys. Like, if I can pass this through this camera and give you a taste of those delicious stuffed meatballs, I would. 2 thumbs up by myself and Raymond. Yum.
Definitely 2 thumbs up.
I'm just saying to Raymond, no chewing in the background. And just look at the spuds, equally cooked. So delicious.
You can't hear me back there.
No, we can't hear you, but we're all saying you're chewing that delicious stuffed meatball in the background. Guys, if you enjoyed this recipe today, I'm going to post it below this video and as well on our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com, if you want to print it there. You can also visit us on our Facebook page. Leave us a message at bonitakitchen@gmail.com if you want to ask any questions about this recipe or any of our recipes we've posted to date. Also, these stuffed meatballs could be frozen if after you've cooked them and you can't eat them all and you want to have them for another day. Put them in a freezer container and pop them in your freezer and take them out when you're ready. Use your favorite quick gravy or your pasta sauce, whatever way, or just smother them with cheese. Whatever way you want to have them, they will be equally as delicious. Plus, remember, you can do this on your barbecue if it's a nice sunny day, summer, fall, spring, it doesn't matter, in your air fryer, or again, cook it in the oven. So on behalf of myself, Raymond, and our team here at Bonita's Kitchen, we thank each and every one of you for stopping by today. We're not going to take any more of your time. We know it's precious. From our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day. The next time you're visiting Newfoundland and Labrador, don't forget to visit the beautiful town of Arbor Grace and join us again on Bonita's Kitchen.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours. Bonita's Kitchen. To yours.
Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. Today I'm going to make a tasty batch of stuffed mushrooms.